Right, welcome back. This is the TGN Golf Day Clinic and it's in form of a Q&A. So it's 52 minutes, just lots of questions and Liam just getting into all of the questions which I expect that you'll be getting as well. So I see a lot of the questions in the comments that also are in this video. So I feel like there's a lot of value to be had in this video. Now, before we get into it, I just want to let you know that I'm actually now going to be, or actually am. So, do you know what I mean? Well spoken. I'm actually now a TGN ambassador, which just made complete sense because, you know, like I'm obviously spending quite a bit of time with Liam. We're doing a lot of work on my game, but we're also filming a lot of content together. Like yesterday, I went up there, we filmed like 6 videos, all gonna be coming over the next month or so. I've got about a month till I go to South Africa and the game is really just starting to click, which you're gonna see in the videos very soon. So that's exciting. But yeah, just made complete sense to sort of like collaborate with Liam and be a part of TGN. So I'm gonna be at a lot of the TGN Golf Days next year. So if you want to find out a bit more about TGN, links in the description. There's lots of golf days next year, and as well as that, obviously there's loads of the drills that you've been seeing in the videos and a lot more. There's like different coaches for different areas of expertise. There's quite a lot going on there. So head over there, check it out and see if you want to be a member. All right. Now, before we get into this video again, I'm just going to tell you one more thing. Over the next month, you're going to be seeing obviously a lot of content from me and Liam, but I'm also going to be getting out and trying to play some good courses before I go to South Africa. All right, so I want to get on the golf course again and show you some sort of like course vloggy stuff. But to go with that, I feel like we've been missing the likes of The Map and Flower. All right, so it's been a while. We haven't had those boys on the channel for a while. So we're going to get them back on and we're going to spend the day with both of them, just have a bit of fun. So a bit of fun there to mix up with the education from Liam and getting out and playing some courses whilst we get ready for South Africa. All right, so enjoy this video. Any questions, get them in the comments and we'll try and sort of like include them in one of the videos coming up. Enjoy.
Unfortunately, this is the last one of the year this year. We're going to do a lot more next year, hopefully. But the way that I normally do these, I found the best way of doing them, let's say, is just that I just want to leave you guys open to questions and then fire away, and then that generally leads into some good topics and hopefully some decent answers. Hopefully we can answer them all for you. So yeah, so don't be shy. There's not a bad question that you can ask me. Obviously I want you guys to go away. If we can, in 45 minutes, if you've come here with any questions or any doubts about anything, hopefully if we can answer them for you, this would have been a highly productive 45 minutes. So yeah, so.
Is anyone here that doesn't want to be on camera? It says that they're doing something else. You're going to get more release forms.
Just fire away, we'll get as many answers as we can. Last time we managed to get through most of them, so yeah, I guess anybody want to start? Here we go.
I'm finding I've got more of a left miss at the minute, which I guess is my arm.
Mm-hmm.
But like I feel like I'm doing the move right.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like I'm starting left, going left.
Okay. Well, if you're starting left, generally that's going to mean that at some point your shoulders are open too early. And obviously what we mean by that is if I had this on the ground, obviously that's my target line. So generally something that tends to get shoulders too open too early generally will start left. The more my shoulders are this way to target, which is why I've never really understood when people talk about fading it to move away from a left miss, because it obviously was supposed to start left. I feel safer starting it right when I don't want to miss left. So that's why a lot of the stuff we do with guys is about obviously closing it off at times. Generally shoulder alignment has something to do with that. So if I was to set up here and just open my shoulders and swing normally, obviously the ball starts 20 yards left of where I was hitting them originally. Obviously then I can go the other way, just shut my shoulders off and swing, and that starts the ball 20 yards right of where I'm normally looking. So that's why a lot of the stuff I talk a lot about patience. The hard bit with a lot of the drills is obviously you think and your intention. If you're on a lie detector test and somebody said to you trying to do those things, you're obviously going to pass it. But the reality of that can be two very different things. So the problem you have is that if you have something going on that's making you open, which you rightfully said, I'm probably pulling with the arms or something. That's a very common thing you see with people that get open, because they start to feel narrow, then they have to get out the way of it. So yeah, there's obviously numerous things that can make you do that, which I'm probably not going to give you as accurate of an answer, but what you're likely seeing is that you're going to be too open to target too early. Can't release the club then either, which then, because you start to hold, you tend to push on the handle a bit too much, face hoods over or flips it. And then from there, then unfortunately, it's going to start left and then start to move left. So yeah, so that's probably what it is. What you're doing personally, obviously I don't know, I haven't seen you swing a golf club, but I'm sure it'll be somewhere within that realm.
And now when I'm hitting the ball, it's blocking to the right. It's not slicing, it's just starting right and just leaking further right. So it's almost, I can feel the compression, but I'm not probably releasing it as much. I'm not sure what I should potentially emphasise.
Do you feel like you can't release it?
No, I don't feel that I'm actively releasing it as much as I should be. It's not really an active thought of releasing, if you know what I mean.
Okay, well, something you can quite easily do. You can, on your towel work that you're doing, you can obviously, if you're moving well enough that you've got things where you feel like you're taking the divot, you feel like it's kind of in a sensible window. If it's purely just the fact that you're not releasing it, which is then why, obviously if I move in pretty good and I just hold on to it a little bit too much, if I move in well, but I hold on, I'm just going to shove it out there a little bit. If I want to get that thing turning back around and I want to release it more, so if I want to throw the club head more, it will just get the ball coming back more on line strike wise. So the good thing you can do by adding that release back in, like something that I like to do with guys, is there's two ways you can do it really. You can go through like your kind of like your 3-stage stuff. So you can go your nice off, in, and then once you're in here, then there's two things you could do. I like to feel a lot of the weight of the club head. So I do a lot of these kind of, you could call them pumps, I guess, but what I'm feeling is the weight of this and how I'm actually starting to use it. So once I'm over here and I'm in, it's then a lot of 1, 2, and then hitting the towel. And a lot of people ask me, like, what is a release? And I often find that when I demonstrate that in lessons, very often people can then feel it immediately, because the thing is, if you're not letting the weight of the club dictate from the top, or again, some people will feel it's at the top, some people will feel it's here, it's all relative to who you are. But generally by allowing the weight of the club to take over, that gives people a pretty good feel for it. So the other way you could do it is just off, in, 1, 2, and then actually throw the golf club. That way then you can't hold on to it. If you're physically actually letting the club go. So I do those two variations quite a lot myself, but also if that's a common theme. So you're saying you feel good, you don't feel stuck. The reason I asked you, do you feel like you can't release it, was then my answer would have probably been very different. My answer would have probably been you've gone in and then you're crossing and holding too much. But if you feel like that's not the issue, I just actually physically start to do a few things where you can feel the weight of the golf club. Obviously I know your swing because I teach you, so I know that with you it's probably a case of you're probably actually moving better, and then yeah, just not doing that because we haven't really spoken about it yet. So yeah, easy as that. No problem, might have to get a different club out now.
When you're coming down to hit the ball, which is your left hand doing?
My left hand? Well, I think different people have different triggers, so some people feel it through their left wrist, some people feel it through their right, and that'll kind of differ whoever the player is. Then also down to what shot you're trying to hit. So like for example, I'm not really feeling the release at all if I'm trying to hit something flat as a pancake into the wind. So like today it's blowing quite heavy, I'm probably going to live in a realm of not really releasing it that much today. I'm going to be doing this a lot unless I'm straight downwind and I want to hit it further. What's that mean? So for me, it's just how much I gauge kind of, if you're going off of 1, 2, 3, it's how much of 2 and how much of 3 I do. So for example, like I said, on a day like today, I already know that I'm going to be staying in it forever today because I haven't played much and it's safer because at least I can't fat hook anything. And secondly, it's windy, so I don't want the ball up in the air either because I've got no idea how far the ball goes anymore because I don't play golf anymore. So for me, by having the flight down as well, it means I'm going to be nearer to my yardages that I think I am. Whereas if I start pumping it up there, I could have I just might strike it all right today, but I'm probably going to score terrible because I'm going to airmail everything. So the way that I do it is a lot of kind of, I just constantly feeling, this is where the towel drills become so handy, is that you can overfeel everything to a silly amount, to the point where when you then get on a golf course, you can obviously kind of break them up into different feels. So I can almost kind of go, right, if I want to hit one high, I'm going to move into here and then I'm going to release it. If I want to hit one super flat like I am today, I'm probably just staying here forever. And the good thing about the towel work is, like I said, you can overdo all those things and you can really get a grasp of, okay, how far can I actually go? Then go on a ball, and then what does that do to the flight? The great thing about this stuff though, because it's all based on a lateral motion, whether I hit it high or whether I hit it low, the start line and curve never really changes. I just change the trajectory, which is the whole point of what I'm trying to achieve. So I'll just demo a couple. So if I want to hit one a little bit flatter, I'm just staying in it a little bit longer. That's obviously a 9-iron now, so that's pretty flat for a 9-iron. If I want to bring it up 3 windows, I'm just going to stay in it way less and just sling that club head at it, which rightfully what you say, I feel I've done so much left arm work now, I probably also feel it through my left wrist. So I feel a lot of kind of this when I'm swinging. I'm not really feeling it from my right hand. So which hand you feel it from, I don't think is as relevant as to when you do it. I'd say that's probably more the big part of it. So like if I'm coming in here now and I want to hit one a bit higher, I won't change anything in my setup. All I'm literally doing is I'm just releasing that golf club a lot earlier and I can zip it up there 3 windows. And generally when you're playing on tour, the hard bit is that pins are so tucked. Like thinking back, I was at the British Masters this week and I caddied on Sunday, hole 9. They literally had the pin 3 yards over that front bunker at the Belfry. And it's just like, you ain't getting to that if you're hitting it on a normal ball flight. So that's the thing, is it gives you more access to things, and that's obviously what's going to help your golf scores. So I would be using it for that purpose. So I would always be releasing it earlier if I've got a front flag. If I've got a back flag up a tier, I'm just sending it in like that. It's just very different golf shots. So yeah, hopefully that answers it to a degree. Long way around getting there. But yeah, anything else, guys?
Does your release change for driver at all?
Driver's obviously going to be more of a, it's obviously going to be more of like a higher feel, because driver requires time, space and speed. So if you're not throwing the club head with a driver, you're just, it's tough. The only drive where I won't release it as early is if I'm literally trying, I have like a fairway finder where I just hit it like this high. I call it like my 2-wood, where I take a bit of yardage out of it, thing just runs forever. But yeah, I would be releasing it earlier with driver than I would, like I'm probably the wrong person to ask, because I do carry quite a lot of speed. I can just kind of not release it as much as the next person. Whereas like even with the tour guys you're coaching, it's like you've got some guys that are swinging it at 123, you've got some guys that are swinging it at like 113. The 113 guy's not going to be moving in as much and hitting the stinger as much as the guy that can afford to at 123. With driver, I'd be kind of feeling the throw a lot more. So I'd be kind of feeling that throw a lot more. That's why I do a lot of practice with this thing on the ground. That's more for driver than anything else, just feeling like I'm adding the weight to the end and throwing it in a little bit more.
Change the tee height?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I don't know if I've got any tees in my bag. Here you go, there's a couple here. Somebody should have given me some TGM ones, shouldn't they, if they were prepared for this? I try and find a couple of decentish balls. That would be like a standard ball flight for me. And if I wanted to bring that down a little bit, all I'm doing is I'm probably teeing it somewhere around there instead. And I would also go down the grip a little bit. So the other thing that's big on this drive is that we can't afford to get this one out the toe. So this one I would leave my arms up a lot longer as well. So I'm kind of trying to really be patient with my arms, because the problem is with driver, it's quite difficult to hit the stinger shot because we're obviously requiring speed. So that patience element that you need, obviously if I start yanking or throwing on this thing, I can't get across as much, and this shot requires me to really get across. So one of the things I do when I hit this drive is I'm just really aware of how long my arms are at the top. So if I was coming in, and this would just be, Obviously it's not helping that I've got 40-mile-an-hour wind off the left, but normally this would go quite neutral. Obviously today it's probably going to be a little bit of a fade just because of the wind, but I would be kind of, if I'm aiming at that white rock with the black cross on, I'm probably going to stand a little bit more open to it also, grip down the grip a little bit. I'm just leaving my arms, really kind of leaving those arms at the top. And then I'll bring it down a couple of windows like that. But like I said, there's a couple of little things I change with that. Just down the grip, T height down, but I swing it almost identical, other than just a bit more patience at the top. But yeah, they weren't too bad, were they? I'll take this.
You're going to find that you take that lower in the face.
Yeah, you'll take it a bit lower in the face, yeah, but that's fine. No, not for that, no, because I'm getting onto it with my body. I'm not. Do you know what I mean? Like the problem is if I start nudging it back, I know what I react like. I'm more than likely going to start getting that way a bit. Club will get away from me and I snap hook it. Yeah. So whereas if I leave it forwards, it incentivizes me to always move onto it. Yeah, a lot of the time that's the thing sometimes why people struggle when they have to hit those stingery kind of lower shots. It's because they put the ball back, they bail out of it more. We did it on Trackman. I said this in the last game. We had a guy on Trackman and his attack angle wasn't steep enough. So what we did is we got him to do a drill that logically would make sense from here, is to just step into it, get low point forwards and hit it. And the expectation of that surely would be attack angle would go down. But what actually happened was, because he feels like the ball's back here all of a sudden, which if you think driver, if you budget back too much, you're going to feel like the ball's too behind you. He actually did this way more, attack angle actually went up more. So a lot of the time when you think logically in golf, it takes human reaction out of it. And unfortunately, a lot of us have a little bit of athleticism. And unfortunately, we start to go, actually, I don't like that. And you start to react quite quickly. Whereas if you put that kind of, what we then did was we got the same guy to step off and hit one. And his attack angle went from 1 down to then 1 up. And then it went back to 5.5 down. But it's because all of a sudden the ball's up there. Last thing the guy's going to do is go this way. He's going to go, well, I've got to go get it. So with driver now, I don't really mess around my ball position too much, because the problem is that shot I quite like to hit quite neutral. The problem is as soon as I start budging it back, I either bail out of it and hook it, or even when I do get it, it's like too much of a cut. Whereas you can see on that's on a 40-mile-an-hour wind and it's moving maybe 5 yards maximum. So yeah, it's just way more stable. So no, I don't mess around with that too much. Again, long-winded answer. I could have just said no, couldn't I?
Just on the back of that, Liam, I had some feedback when I went for a fitting that my angle was too steep. And surrounded by all the data that you can get off all the different ranges, and we were talking about it over coffee about how so many different ranges, different ball speeds, etc. If you were to cut to the chase for us, what would you say we should look at? What's the most important data to us, either on the range or on the course, for improving our game?
What, from numbers?
Yeah, I mean, I'm still recording the number of fairways and greens in regulation. I've done for several years. I'm not moving the dot.
Okay, so stats. You're not talking like actual attack angle. You're not talking Trackman numbers. You're talking what stat?
Both, really.
All of it. Okay.
What's the holy grail of trying to?
I don't think there is. Even with Trackman, I have a Trackman in my car every day. I probably use it once a week, and the reason I use it is generally when somebody's swinging great. So I'm not really interested what your numbers are when you swing in port. We might have a little look, but generally I want to know what your numbers are when they're great. And then when you go off again, then we'll have another look. And it's like, right, where are they in relation to when you were hitting it the best you were? I think that's with any data. I think that's with, you start looking at gears, you start looking at Trackman, all these kind of things. I think too many people get obsessed with, I need to get this path. It's like, well, why? If you hit it great when you're 5 in to out, why do you need to get it back to 1? Other than the fact that somebody's told you that that's why you missed left. But you're saying that you're hitting it great. So I think every time, if anybody ever comes in for a lesson, the first thing I do is I shut up for 10 minutes and I say, right, hit some balls. And then what we're doing is we're listening to the ball, we're listening to the strike off the face, we're seeing where does it start, and we're seeing how much curve do you have. Then what we do is after that, we then get a video. Then I start, but I'm going into the video knowing what I'm seeing in the golf ball and knowing kind of what I'm looking for. And then bang, you'll see it. Then you'll say, right, that's impacting this, this, and this. And then you'll say, when you change it to this or do this drill, what we'll see is the ball will do this. And the minute that person does that immediately, then you've got their trust, because you're actually showing you something where you're having an impact on something you're struggling with. Whereas if I'm just going into a studio and I'm not looking at the golf ball and I'm not listening to the sound of it and I'm just looking at TrackMan numbers, I'm probably changing things for absolutely no reason and half the time making that golfer worse, and you're doing them an injustice. That's why I teach out here all year long. It's because I want to see the ball. But that's probably the player element of it. Because I played, I'm very reactive to that, because I could almost shut my eyes, listen to what it sounds like and tell you what your golf swing looks like just from the sound it makes, because I know how it feels. But again, that's probably the player side of it.
That's really helpful.
Yeah.
You're not too over-obsessed about the data.
No. In regards to stats, I think when you track greens, look at measurable numbers. So what I get all my guys to do is they measure how many times inside of 40 feet, 20 feet and 8 feet, because that's where the putting strokes gain stats start to change. So I look a little bit more in depth than that. So like tracking how many putts you hit around it's not really something that's measurable. Like I want to know how many times do you hole a putt inside of 20 feet, how many times do you 3-putt, and how many times do you hold a putt outside of 40 feet. They're kind of the numbers I'd prefer to know. Scramble's obviously important. Fairways always measure like which side you miss, because if you go to your golf coach and you can say to them, yeah, I only hit 20% of fairways, of the 80% I miss 95% of those left, that's also going to help me. So keeping track of stuff like that, keeping track of your misses are really important. But also, like, there's no point hitting it. You could hit 18 greens in reg, hit them all to 50 feet and shoot 5 over. So it's having those proximities quite important too. But yeah, that's probably what I'd say, mate. Yeah. Anything else, guys?
Like 100 yards and in,
Mm-hmm.
I tend to find my ball flight's quite high, and I know you've spoken on videos of other people, like you're looking quite like a lower. Are you doing anything for how are you playing those shots basically?
I think there's a couple of things with wedges that people, like we just talked about, loading and unloading the club head. I very often I've got 3 guys in particular that just spring to mind that I coach who are super powerful, got lots of club head speed, and unfortunately they have very stiff wrists because they've been told with a wedge, stiff wrists, and unfortunately, like, they have the same issue, they pop it up. So there's a couple of things realistically with wedges if you're looking for a flighted wedge that I always look for. Number one would be, obviously, if I'm out here and if I'm moving onto the ball forever with a wedge, which is why a lot of the time I talk about with the wedges, I talk about them, about making sure that low point gets across and leaving the arms up. So the reason I'm big on the arms up in the wedges is just so it gives me the time to get back across. So if I'm trying to hit a flightier wedge, I'm just leaning on it forever just to get it into that kind of low down window. I'm not hitting wedges fully. That's the big thing. Like I'm quite long with woods and longer irons, but when you get down to wedges, I'm not really that kind of long compared to other people. Let me get my clubs out the rain. No, it's all right. I'll still stand out there, yeah. Got to be committed to the job, ain't you?
So with that same shot, if you were to feel like you're getting on it enough,
Yeah.
and it's starting right and leaking right, not a lot,
Then you get into it the wrong way.
Okay.
So if it's starting right and it's leaking right, yeah. So if you're with the wedge, the problem is that if you start to try and get the low point forwards, but you do it more that way, you'll then push more as well, and then you'll get that squirty one that goes out to the right a little bit too much. Whereas I'm obviously moving on to it like this way more, and then I'm releasing the club head at the bottom. But the other thing to be aware of is just how much you drive that lead arm forwards. Yeah, you see it all the time. Like people go, because they don't move this way enough, they then are like, oh God, I'm not going to get back to the ball. So they just start jamming the left arm forwards. These shanks, all kinds of stuff, yeah. Whereas, and the thing is, you can kind of do them on demand. Like, if it wasn't raining out there right now, I'd show you. But yeah, like with the shanks and the, hoping this greens the course up for us. Be all right, we needed this yesterday. So the shank one, so I could literally walk out there now and top or shank one on demand. And the way I do it is if I spin, my left arm starts to go like that too much. And then before we know it, they're just off. Because honestly, I think the left arm wedge drill, and I think the wedge drills are probably the hardest drills that we have. And the reason I say that is because it requires so much exactness. So if you get any of it wrong, you're going to know about it immediately. And it can make you look very, very silly. That's the annoying thing about them. Why a lot of people give up on them is because it does make you feel like an absolute idiot at times. Like you're on a range and you've got all these guys hitting 7-irons.
Left hand 30 yard pitch.
Yeah.
If that's often a top, it's either okay, or it's the top.
Yeah, so that's just spinning. Yeah, so the minute you go this way, the club can't get to the ground, and then you'll end up thrusting your arm forwards, and that's why you'll top and shank them. I see it, obviously, every day. Do you know what I mean? But the problem is, with that particular shot, it just requires you to... it requires so much patience in transition. So if you're somebody that yanks from the top, or you're somebody that wants to spin early, that drill's just going to be a nightmare for you, which is why we do it. And it's one of those things where if you can start building that patience on a 30-yard pitch shot, and you can start doing it all the time, then all of a sudden we have a chance with a 150 yards iron shot, and then we've got a chance then with the driver. But there's no point me trying to get you to be more patient with a driver where a lot of speed's required. But yeah, the wedge shots they're tough. But with them, there's two things. Number one, making sure you're getting the body across. The end of the world, isn't it? Oh my God. Well, he's just said the same. I'm just surrounded by dull people. It's always sunny when nobody else is here but me. And then the other thing then is making sure that you are still kind of loading and unloading the club. Like a lot of the time with wedges, my club's almost like up here, and I've literally done nothing. So I'm using the club head a lot more, because the problem is when you get a bit rigid, you have to overturn, and then the club's just riding up the face too much, which if I've got a 40-yard pitch shot that I need to spin a lot, but with like a soft flight, I'll very often just lock my wrists out a little bit more and do a bit of that. Yeah, you can. It's horrible, isn't it? Yeah, and it just pops up, misses short right, and you're just like, why'd I bother? Yeah.
You've got like a distance controlling system.
Mate, I'd always struggle with them to a degree, because like with the clock system, for example, you'd work all week on your clock positions, but then you'd go on a tournament and you're anxious and you'd swing it 4 miles an hour faster, and then it'd airmail the green. Do you know what I mean? So it was like stuff like that I struggled with them. But I think that's probably the closest thing you can do. I did try, somebody tried to get me to do like a tempo one, so a club head speed one. And I was like, it was like, right, we're gonna have 4 speeds. We're gonna have 1, 3, 5, 7, and 10, or whatever it is. Like, and it was like, well, what does that mean? Do you know what I mean? It's like gone for a 2-hour lesson and come out and I'm just like, wow, I feel worse off than I started. So I think the clock system, the way that I taught myself to do it was, I just got on a TrackMan for hours and I just went, right, if I want to hit it 60 yards, what does that feel like? And I started doing 10-yard increments from like 60 to 120. And then what I did then was, I was like, well, if I grip down it a little bit, it does this. Or if I put it back in my stance a couple of balls, this is what it does. And I started kind of measuring it a bit more like that, and it felt a bit more, right, this is my 60 feel. If I do this, I can hit it 63. And I started kind of getting a bit like that, because let's be honest, how often do you need to know how to hit it within 3 foot, like how to move it a yard? Like, there's not many people that are needing to do that. And even on tour, I'm sure if they've got 60, but they have a 63-yard shot, I'm pretty sure they're pretty comfortable with that. But yeah, so I'd say clock system potentially, but yeah, it's...
Did you do that with the same club? Or did you go...
I do it with all my wedges.
Okay, so you were hitting a 60 and a 70-yard shot with your 52, for example.
Yeah. So I would go through and just see what came out. So it's like, right, when I feel like this, and then what I do is I go, okay, well, that feels like this to me. So, for example, I have like a 60-yard wedge shot where I feel like it literally goes to my hip, and then it comes through to here. I get it on camera, and my arm's up here somewhere. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So I'm not hitting that position, but to me, that's what it feels like. And I feel under pressure, that was easier for me to manage than me having to be super restrictive to get it to a certain place. So then I'd work out how far it goes.
You sort of like, okay, well, I can do a six. This is what a 60 swing with my 52 looks like, or feels like. My 60-yard shot with my 58 or my lob wedge feels like this. I feel more comfortable with my 60-yard lob wedge.
Yeah.
So that would be my...
It would be less about club, because I don't feel any more or less comfortable with any club, because I don't believe in that. Do you know, like when people go, oh, I love my 7-iron. I'm like, well, why don't you like your 8-iron? And they're like, well, I shanked that one. And you're like, what do you mean? But you do hear that all the time, weirdly enough. Yeah, exactly. And that's the problem, isn't it? It's your story. And as golfers, we are storytellers. Like, how many times you go in a bar after a round and they're going, oh yeah, like, oh, I can't putt. You should have seen that putt I hit on field. Like, can't wait to tell people how bad they are at that thing. And that's what we do, we tell stories. So that's exactly the same thing. But if we can start to not do that, that helps us. But yeah, so with it, yeah, so I would do it more based on, if I've got 2 swings that go 75 yards, let's say, one with a 52, one with a 60, it would then be relatable to, I don't really want to hit the 52 if I've got a front pin. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, it would become more about into wind, downwind, and pin positions. Whereas if I've got a back 75 yard, I might flight it in with a 52, one hop and check it into the back flag at the tee. Whereas I'm not going to do that to a front flag. So yeah, so that's more what it's to do with.
Where if at all, do you see the line between coming off and too much lateral from which it's difficult to get back in? I'm particularly thinking about
I get asked this obviously quite a lot, like the amount of times people come in for a second lesson, let's say, and they go, I feel like I'm getting off it well now, but I can't get back on it. I haven't really seen that. Like what generally that person thinks they're getting off of it, but they're doing something quirky to keep them on it, whether it be that they're tilting their spine forwards, they're pushing their pelvis forwards. It's like their body starts to say, I don't want to be over there like I was in the first lesson, so I'm going to find my way back to where I want to feel. And a lot of the time, I can guarantee you out of most of those people that have walked through here that have said that, they've gone away getting off it more at the end of that lesson than they were doing at the start. But
you expect the head to move back.
Well, yeah, like if you look at somebody like, what's the young guy that's like bombs it on the PJ Tour? Yeah. So if you look at him and you look at him from above, his head's moved off it like that much. I mean, it's like, and the video that I saw of it, I think I might have sent this to you, James, actually, is like him, it's with the Eddie Hearn voice where he's going, like taking the mick about it. And he's like literally moving off it that much, and it is, can't do that, won't do that, all that kind of stuff. And then he goes, I'm going to the moon, mate, and like bombs it 360 down the middle. And it's like, the thing is, why can't we do that? Like the thing is, most people that are moving off recenter, but people that tend to stay on tend to actually go backwards more. And I've seen that way more than I have somebody get off of it and not get back onto it. Like anybody that I see that's kind of this way, they're always trying to find a way out of it, whichever way they're doing that, because you have to find space. If I just give you space, then you can just go get it. You just go do whatever you want on the way in then, and it's quite easy. So I'd say to you in that regard, there's only so far you can go. Like you're not going to move 42 inches to the right and whatever backwards. Even when you're stepping, most people are moving 3 to 6 inches even when they're stepping. Like Scheffler moves in 8.5 inches, but you're told you're not allowed to move laterally. But he's pretty good.
Would you say it's more when the weight starts to go over the side of your trail foot?
I don't know, mate, because like even that, it's like generally if the weight's going to go over the outside of my trail foot, it's because I've done more of this. Yeah. Like if I move how I'm supposed to, if I move like I'm supposed to, like that's as far as I can go. Like weight's not going in the outside of my foot. Do you know what I mean? It's just not. It's still, I'm very grounded.
It's like when you're going up as well.
Yeah. Well, a mixture of both. Yeah. It's like it's the perfect blend of both, isn't it? But
if you keep moving right and you don't go up, you will just move.
You just fall over, wouldn't you?
Well, yeah, you would. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So and that's what I mean by there's only so far you can go. You ain't going to fall over. Do you know what I mean? You're not going to go like that and then just start going like this all of a sudden. Liam told me to get off it. Do you know what I mean?
I have to run back to the ball.
Yeah, exactly. Like we were joking in the car in that last lesson. It's like, yeah, you're not going to just keep walking backwards and going. Like we've all got some form of common sense.
Is that more like leg structure though? Because if you watch some people who are very leggy, and their legs seem to rotate in the wrong.
Well, yeah, well, exactly. So they're doing something they shouldn't be.
Yes.
It's not because they're doing what we're asking them to do. That's what I'm saying. So if I have this line here and I move one part of that line on its own, it starts to look quirky, doesn't it? So people talk about the head moving. Most people that you see the head moving too much would be because they don't move the lower bit. So now all of a sudden I look like I've moved way more. But if I just move everything like that, I don't look like I'm doing anything crazy, do I? I'm just creating a bit of space.
And weight is on that right side when you're on the back?
When I first started doing it, I was moving over maybe to like 65, 70%, and that was not enough. So like I've been gradually trying to get as much as I just play around with it. Yeah. Like if I've got some time on a swing catalyst or something, I just play with it. And I'm just like, right, how far can I push it? And how can I get more pressure there? And I start feeling different things.
Are you 50-50 at setup?
I'm around there, yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty similar, yeah. Yeah, I'm not one of those that's like 60-40 left or anything like that. Some people give it a little push to be able to get off. Like, again, everybody's different. This is the thing. It's not that there's not like I see in the group all the time, people post things like, in Liam's theory, would this be acceptable? And I'm like, well, what's his ball saying? If he's flushing it down the middle, more than acceptable. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, there's a thing within it, but it's not like you can't do this and you can't do this. The main reason that I don't want people staying on it is because every person that comes in that stays on it doesn't hit it very well. I mean, they fat it, they start the ball left, they hook it, and it's like, I'm only moving it because they're here for a reason, and that's that most people come in and go, I want to give up golf. So when they come in, I'm like, well, you're obviously not happy with your game then, so we'll change something. Do you know what I mean? But then when they come in, like I said, first thing I do every session, I watch the ball. And if that thing's not telling me nice things, or if it doesn't sound nice, then we start moving around. And then the minute you give them space, it starts sounding more flush. It's like, well, that's the answer then. But if it's, I mean,
as you're coming back in, you saw the 90% on your left.
It's not really about how, it's about like, what I try and do is I'm trying to like get a percentage of my body weight back on there. So like, as opposed to being like 90%, it's like, in regards to 1 times my body weight, it's like, how many times my body weight can I start to apply? Because what I need is, I need a heavy pressure this way to be able to then push up more. So it's like, that's all, it's the only reason I'm doing it. I'm just trying to get everything to move that way more so that I can then get the space to pull up so that I can release it.
That movement coming off,
That's what gives you the space. My sequence is obviously, I'm over here, I'm pushing in, then I push up, then I throw the club, and because I'm throwing this thing at speed, that pulls me around. So if you look at somebody like Scheffler, you know, when he's doing like this, you watch the way he moves, it's like that. The reason his foot slides is because he's so lateral. And then he's here and his foot's always moving backwards because he's closed. Then all of a sudden the speed of the club goes like that, which is then why he's sliding all over the place. But yeah, so if you watch how much you watch it, I guarantee you, if you watch Scheffler, you're never going to see him here.
No, so it's not the rotation of the hips that brings the arms, it's the arm that rotates the hips.
Yeah, of course, yeah. Well, this thing, one thing I can promise you, this thing can move way faster than this ever can. So use it. Like we often go out to the States with a few guys, and it's like we hit balls for an hour and they look knackered. And then I'm there like hitting it twice as hard, I look like I've not hit a ball. Because I'm just literally going in there, I'm just going, and they're going in there and it's like, all kinds of Justin. No, I'm joking. So it's like, it's just, the thing is, the more you can start to use the weight of this thing, like I honestly think if you can find an ability to be able to understand the weight of the club head, honestly, you're going to be so far ahead of the curve. And that's what I think I've done. That's the thing that I think as a player that I did pretty good. Like if you watch me on tour, like when I'm hitting it as far as I do, it doesn't look like I'm whacking it. It looks quite effortless. But yeah, so yeah, there you go.
You said about you push back. So when I'm doing the drills, obviously like when you're doing the step, but a lot of it's natural, isn't it?
Yeah, you don't think about it. Because the problem is if you go into there now and you try to hit a ball and you try and do it, you'll just whack it way right. Because all you'll do is you'll just go and you'll just smash it way to the right. So yeah, it's not anything that you consciously have to think about. It's just a byproduct of good motion. And I'm always like, when people come in, let's say somebody's got an issue and they... Hell of a day. I know, yeah. What's next? But yeah, so it's like one of those things. I always kind of go back, and if there's a problem at impact, it's like, right, what's going on in transition? Then if it's not there, it's like, what's going on in the backswing? You can always just bring it back to something earlier. If you're not pushing up, it's going to be some kind of pushing direct energy, like push issue. Then that's probably going to be a byproduct of something that you've done even earlier of that. And generally, you go in at the source, cut that out, and all of a sudden, then at least you'll be more incentivized to do what you're supposed to.
Rated the slow-mo swing
The thing is, mate, I can swing it a million ways in slow motion. Does it have any relevance when I go out there? Do you know what I mean? Like as soon as I add speed and torque back into it, I can't feel those things anyway. Yeah. So it's like, why am I working on them in slow motion when I physically can't feel it out there? So it's like, I'm more inclined to kind of work on things and shift stuff at full speed so that when you're out there, at least it's relatable. So no, yeah, I wouldn't. Again, works. Does it work for people? I don't know. Like, I don't know.
It's hard to measure, isn't it?
Yeah, of course it is, because it's like, okay, well, yeah, you've reduced your handicap by 2 over the last 2 years doing it, but would you have done it by 12 if you'd done something different? Who knows? And that's the thing, isn't it?
So ball in it. No one thinks about what angle their foot's coming into the ball. Or
No.
angle of attack.
Yeah, we don't in any other sport, do you?
No.
Like, what other sport are you breaking it down?
Construction went towards like being super static and stuff, and then Scotty Scheffler's come out.
Yeah.
And he's just throwing it all out the window, isn't it?
Of course, mate, yeah, because it's like, I don't personally like the whole staying centred thing. I'm just like, I don't know if that's possible. Like, I don't know anybody that starts at 0, stays at 0 and doesn't move any further. Like, I don't know anybody that stays still. Do you know what I mean? So it's like I don't, you name me one golfer that doesn't move at a millimetre forwards.
Yeah.
You're not going to find it, are you? No, I've tried.
I mean, Aaron Badley would be probably the person who would be like the most that way.
But
he didn't really.
But if you're talking percentage through the ground, you telling me he's not moving onto his left foot?
He
Or?
was stack and tilt, wasn't he? He was very
Yeah,
left-sided.
yeah. But he's still going to move forwards in transition, even if it's like this.
Yeah.
About when you set the wrists in the backswing, early, late.
So I just think if you're allowing the wrists to hinge, not
Is that
hinging
how
them.
you do it? You don't
Yeah,
actively
I let
feel
them load. Yeah, I don't hinge it. I like my wrists are, due to them being soft and because of the way I'm loading the club head, I let them hinge, but it's like got width to it. Whereas I think a lot of the people that people try and set the club, the problem is, yeah, you've got hinge, but now it's like super narrow. So when I get to the top, it's like really narrow. Whereas when I'm allowing that hinge, it's like way later that it does it. But it's natural, it's not forced.
How does that work out? How do you manage that when you say you're doing only a half swing? So you only come to, because of course, well, maybe not. But
It probably just wouldn't load as much. Like if you think if I made a half swing, it's just going to be more like here. Do you know what I mean? So it's still happening. It's just, yeah, at a different level. Like it won't set probably as late because the club's not travelling as far. It all just depends. Like if I went to hit a driver and I'm,
you still don't feel like you actively set it.
no, never, no, because it's too rigid. Like it's not natural. Like I again going back to I want the weight of the club to do it. I don't want my wrist to do it. But yeah, we had one more, didn't we?
I think that probably feeds into what you were just saying there, that athletic against technical. With the lead arm, where you talked about keeping it against the ribs, at what point is that not happening anymore? When do you, because it's a bit of pressure.
You mean on the backswing?
No,
on the downswing. So in the downswing, it would just be when the speed of the club finally pulls you through. But like my left arm's very rarely like it's in front of me most of the time. So like it will be working through here. I'm throwing it in. This stays nice and connected because I can't release it. If I release my left elbow, I can't release the club head because all that'll happen is that. So I'm keeping it on me here. The club head's going to pull speed and then it pulls me and the club through together and I'll finish something like that. Like it's not going to finish here. Unless I'm trying to hit a sting, unless I'm really trying to cut it off or something.
Yeah. That sort of technical thought of keeping it on there is only
That's more to incentivise you to move across. Like it's not really about the release. It's more about kind of like if my left arm comes off me, I don't have to move because I'm like driving low point forwards like that. So for me, that being on there is more to kind of incentivise me again to move across. It's all just to do with that, getting it over. And again, like I said to you, like people are like, what does that do with driver? And it's like, well, you're not going to move over as much because you're going to be throwing it harder. And so like it's understanding how it all works together more than anything, which shouldn't be too overly, like I said, we tried to make it as simple as possible. It's like get off, get in and throw it. And the more that this happens, like the more of the speed of that, it's just you're going to probably go across less and the release will be more.
The weird thing is when you get, when you're moving back into it, you keep your arm connected. Once you get in that position, you don't mind it getting unconnected.
No,
So
yeah. Then you just throw it, yeah, and it'll come away a little bit on the way through just because of the speed of it. But yeah, you never finish like that.
with that one arm pitch. You sort of have to have the support both on the backswing and the
You do, yeah.
front swing to give
Yeah.
Down
backswing and downswing.
Yeah.
You need that support through the.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, because
in order to be able to support the weight of the club.
yeah. Well, if your left arm comes away, all you'll just do that every time, which is pretty light. And the thing, if literally every time, if I just turn.
Feel like a right fit on the range.
Yeah, you do. Yeah. Yeah, you do. Yeah. But the thing is, all it's about is like that arm connection. I need the structure. And if you think about it logically, if I leave my arm up and I just lean across, that pressure point is just going to naturally increase anyway. I don't really even have to think about it. I'm leaning into my left arm almost is the feel. Just like, yeah. And the thing is, like those shots, they're just not fearful because I know my low point's safe. And I know that I'm not doing anything with my left arm. Like I'm not trying to hit at these at all. Like every time, all I'm literally doing is just leaning across. So it's just, all I'm doing is just leaning. Like I'm not physically having to do anything. And don't get me wrong, guys, like this took me 3 months to learn how to do this. It annoys me when I have lessons because I've learned how to do it myself. I can get every lesson to do it within the lesson. But it took me 3 months, so I didn't have anybody that told me exactly how to feel it. It was like, you went and had your lesson, right, hit some left armers, and I'm stood there like, wondering what on earth's going on, trying to kill people. And but the good thing you guys have got is that when I'm talking about it, like I use certain analogies with it where I almost imagine like I've got a metal rod through my sternum, kind of just working that way, and I'm not physically allowed to move. All I'm allowed to do essentially is like the zip on my shirt. All I'm doing is moving that zip across. And that's all I try and think when I do these is just arm stays up and just lean across. And when you get like, and the reason you don't need to hit them any further than that is you're not actually going to gain anything. Like trying to hit it further, the chances are you're going to try to generate more speed and just do that every time, which will drive you nuts. So, yeah, but yeah, so that's the left arm stuff.
Other coaching instruction that you might be getting. How would you suggest you integrate that?
Well, I just don't think you can miss. Like if you've got certain drills that you're doing with a different coach, but you put it on a towel, all it's going to do for you is make your left side work more efficiently. Collision size increases, body brace is harder, left side activates more. And most of us are underdeveloped in our lead sides, and we don't know that. Like when we used to play football, we used to have things where they used to put mirrors down the centre of our bodies, and you'd look into one mirror with it, and they would split you like in two on the mirror, and honestly, it's wild. Like I didn't at the time when you're fit and healthy and whatever else, and it's like your left side of your body just looked like it didn't even look like you. I mean, you take the middle bit away and then you look normal again. But it's like we're all underdeveloped. So
from a musculature, movement and everything,
yeah,
as well and technically.
Why do you think so many of the drills that I do are left side based? It's because generally you've all got way too much in this side anyway, which is why higher handicappers are going to spin open loads and slice it. It's why lower handicappers will yank down on it hard, get dumped underneath, club will go out right and they hook it. That's why you see that. It's because they've got so much more dominance in the trail side. And the thing that I found most interesting about this was that I thought that was just right-handed golfers play right-handed. They don't. I've had guys come in that I've gone, oh, like you're right-handed, and they go, well, I'm left-handed, and I'm like, oh, well, I'll have to change that spill a little bit. Now it's just trail side. Even left-handed people, it's a trail side thing. Trail side wants to pull and it just wants to pull, and it always seems to take over. So that's why a lot of the drills are left-handed. But look, if you're working with a different coach and you're just looking to do something at home and you're doing your own drills on a towel, it's not going to be a bad thing. 'Cause it teaches you deceleration, it gets your left side working harder. You can't really lose at it. But yeah, so yeah.
Do you think European schools have got to move to that US model to bring better players through in Europe? Because at the moment,
oh mate, it's miles behind, isn't it?
The US, don't they?
Well, yeah, but if you look in the UK schools, it's like the lad that I teach up here, Joel, he won the Order of Merit for the English schools, and it's like he plays in the British Amateur and almost came dead last. Do you know what I mean? It's like, yeah, the level of the college stuff here, the stuff in America is ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. You're a tour pro. Yeah, you're a PGA Tour player. You're playing at Sawgrass. You're playing at Torrey Pines. You're playing on tour courses day in, day out. You get given every piece of world-class equipment you could ever need. You've got the best facilities on the planet. Everything's done for you. And it's just like, so that's why they're coming out of college and just go win straight away, because they're not scared. they're used to shooting 24 under around world-class golf facilities, whereas you come to the college system here and it's like the lad that I know, he's winning tournaments at 6 over. Yeah, you go to America and you've got to go shoot 24 under around sawgrass. Good luck with that. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, and they're just, honestly, like you look at that PGA Tour U thing they've got going on. Those lads that are coming out of there are like top 10 in the world within a year. It's nuts. It's nuts. But look at what they're doing every day. I said about being selfish. Like they're just literally a couple of hours of school every day and they're just grinding all day, every day with the best of everything. So it's...
Weather and practice facilities and things have a big part to play then.
Yeah, but that's why a lot of the colleges here, though, it's why they go to Portugal and stuff during the winter. And do you know what I mean? Because it's not that they're not getting kind of, obviously, look, America's just on a different planet when it comes to the golf stuff. Like even that's why I used to go there. I used to play one-day mini tour events, and I came second 2 days running. I shot 7 under, 8 under. I got beat by 3 in the first day and 4 on the second day. Same guy shot 10 under, 12 under 2 days running. And you're just like, what on earth is going on here? So, I mean, then you come back to England and you've got to go to Q school and you've only got to shoot level par to get through on Europro. You're like, hang on a minute, what's going on here? You just had to shoot 8 under a day just to have a chance of making $300 in America. And that's it. And you've got to remember, that's at mini tour level. Like Leon, you know Leon Fricker, I coached Leon. Leon went to America recently. His last 7 rounds he's played out there, he shot 42 under par. And it's like he's only won twice. That's the standard. And the thing is, like, I don't think until you go over there, I don't think you realise. Like you go and play a mini tour event that's $100 entry, you're going to win $400. Go play in that and shoot level par. And if there's 50 players, I'd be shocked if you're not almost last. So if you're not you just go out there and you just like, got to make birdies. It's just a different game. It's brilliant though. That's why I used to go out there every winter.
What about owner deviation?
Get out of here. Is that it, guys?
Yeah, thank you.
Cheers, Liam.
There we go.
Would you say
Oh.
I'm putting now, really?
Putting?
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want to talk to me about putting. Not unless you want to learn how to 3-putt more. No, go on. I do know a lot, but
For me, it's just like sort of, that's more like individual, I would say. Perhaps.
yeah, I'll be honest. I think for putting, look, putting's broken down into a few different things, isn't it? If you can read a green, start the ball on line, and have good pace, you'll be a good putter. I don't have any of those things, so I'm not a good putter. I'm streaky, let's say. But yeah, no, Jamie's obviously Jamie's in the network and stuff. I was hoping he was going to come today actually, but he for all those things, I think he's brilliant. Like that's all we ever would work on. And you go and have a session with him, and I can't really remember ever talking about technique. It would just be right. Here's a chalk line, hit a putt. There's some tees in the way of it. He's starting it online, and then we'd do some pace training, then we'd do some aim point work, and you'd go out and you'd have your little routines. Like Brandon's amazing. Like if you look at him every week, you turn up, I guarantee he's doing the same stuff every week. And he normally starts chalk line, roll 10, 12 balls for a chalk line. Like, are they going in? Yes, no. Then he'll literally get his spirit level out. He'll just go up to random putts, right? Check his number. And he'll just go around and every putt he does, and then he goes for his full routine. He's just got one ball on a putting green. He just goes around and just hits anywhere between 8 and 20 feet. Just picks random putts all day. And he's just literally checking his routine constantly. And he's exactly what he'd do on a golf course in a tournament. Yeah, the only difference, obviously, he's getting some feedback as to whether his reads are any good or not. And then what he does, like what Jamie used to do, and I'm sure Brandon does this. I'll have to ask him again Monday. Well, he's in the group now. I'm sure he can tell us. But I'm sure he like gets so, you know, if he does 10 reads, he'll go like, and he'll break it down to right 1.8, and how far off he is, he'll note down, and then he has a total number every week, and then he'll be like, right, this week my reads are good this week. Do you know what I mean? It's all just confidence boosting stuff. I talk about feedback loops and talk about the staying on track in the app. Talk about feedback loops. That's one of his. So it's just giving him confidence that when he reads a putt, he knows he's reading them well. But yeah, when it comes to anything else putting related, I'm not your guy. Not your guy at all. That's why I'm here. I'm the guy that hit 36 greens twice on clutch last year and missed the cuts. That's me. But anything swing related, I can answer. But yeah, Jamie, I'm sure, honestly, if you've got any putting questions, just go in the Facebook group. Jamie's in there all the time. So just go in there and ask him. He's always open to answer any questions and stuff like that. So yeah, it's a good thing about being in the Facebook group. At least you've got the support of everybody's in there. Jamie Greaves is in there, Donaldson's in there, Brandon's in there, I'm there. So if you posted a question to them, hopefully they'll answer. But yeah, there you go. All right, guys. All right, go out and have a good game of golf then, guys. Yeah.
Can I get a quick pic?
Yeah, of course you can, mate. Yeah.